Once upon a time, in a large, bright village, lived Simby. Simby was incredibly rich and beautiful. She owned a large house, an abundance of bright clothes, and numerous sparkling jewels that her father had left her before he left for the stars. When the villagers saw her, they couldn't help but exclaim in wonder. However, Simby was a little different from the others. She preferred the company of people who, like her, possessed great wealth. She refrained from associating with those who had less, even when they smiled at her, and sometimes she avoided smiling back. In contrast, her father was not like that. He treated everyone with kindness and generosity, sharing his wealth with others. People adored him and hoped that one day Simby would emulate her father's virtues. Simby had no thoughts of marriage. Her mother would advise her, "You're not getting any younger. Find someone nice." However, Simby would shake her head in disagreement, stating, "No, I want something extraordinary. He must have more wealth than me, be exceptionally kind, and have never been married before." This created whispers among the villagers, wondering who could possibly meet such criteria. As Simby waited patiently, she pondered the man who would be her perfect match and was convinced that she would somehow find him. But for now, she enjoyed her riches, her big house, and her glittering possessions. She was not yet ready to share them with anyone. One sunny day, Simby met Moi. Moi came from a neighboring village and was also rich, just like Simby. His wealth also came from his family, similar to hers. Simby liked Moi for his wealth, and Moi reciprocated her feelings. They decided to get married and live together. At first, everything was happy and harmonious. They laughed together, enjoyed delicious meals, and lived in a spacious, cozy house. Simby and Moi seemed to be a perfect match. However, over time, things began to change. Simby developed a tendency to make all the decisions and assumed the role of boss. Whenever Moi proposed an idea, Simby would reject it, insisting that it be done her way. She believed that her wealth and age gave her the right to rule. One day, Moi had to go on a trip and asked Simby to stay at home until his return. Unfortunately, Simby disobeyed his request and went out to have fun with her friends, traveling far away without informing Moi. Upon returning, Moi discovered the house empty, and upon inquiring about Simby's whereabouts, a passerby informed him that she had gone to enjoy herself with her friends. Moi patiently waited for her return. One day became 2, then 3. Finally, Simby returned. Moi was deeply upset and asked her, "Where did you go?" Simby did not appreciate the question and replied, "Why do you ask? I can go wherever I want." A heated argument ensued. Moi stressed the importance of respect, reminding Simby that he was still the head of the household. However, Simby refused to agree and in anger declared, "I don't need to listen to you. No man can control my life." With those words, Simby packed her belongings and returned to her village, leaving Moi and her home behind. She found herself single once again, residing in her large house and pondering what had happened. Whispers circulated among the villagers, wondering about the fate of Simby and Moi and what would happen next. Simby's mother shared her sadness, acknowledging that no marriage is perfect. Simby had no desire to entertain such thoughts, however. She believed that she would simply find another man, a better one this time. After parting ways with Moi, Simby crossed paths with Ao. Unlike Moi or Simby, Ao was not wealthy, but he did possess a compassionate heart. He was known as the kindest man in the village. Simby reflected, acknowledging his caring nature, thinking, "Well, he is very caring, which is something I wished for." Thus, Simby and Ao decided to marry. Since Ao did not possess the same wealth, she had to move into Simby's expensive home. She dedicated herself to ensuring Simby's happiness, preparing delicious meals, diligently cleaning the house until it sparkled, and even offering foot massages to ease her fatigue. Sometimes, with her meager resources, Ao would buy Simby pretty dresses, saying, "I just want to see you smile, Simby." She enjoyed it, reveling in her ability to control him. It felt as if Simby was the husband and Ao the wife. She reveled in this dynamic, feeling like a queen. Ao was always there, ensuring her comfort and happiness. Over time, however, Simbi began to feel that something was missing. She observed that Ao did not contribute financially. While he devoted his days to making her happy, the upkeep of the large house and the acquisition of shiny possessions required money. Simbi concluded that Ao was kind, but too idle, not contributing significantly to the family. He simply enjoyed the fruits of his labor. One evening, Simbi sat with Ao and expressed her thoughts. She acknowledged his kindness, but noted that kindness alone could not fill their pots with food or sustain their lavish lifestyle. Ao felt a pang of sadness, wanting to bring joy to Simbi, but not knowing how to do so without financial means. Simbi's mother offered her perspective, advising Simbi to choose between Ao's kindness and a man who could provide financially. She explained that a man who devoted all his time to caregiving might have little time to work. After careful deliberation, Simbi realized that she needed more than just kindness. With a heavy heart, Simbi informed Ao that she needed to leave, confessing that he was not the husband she needed. Ao felt a deep sadness, but complied, packing her belongings and leaving. Once again, Simbi found herself alone. She possessed everything she desired within her opulent home, but happiness eluded her. She longed for Ao's kindness, but desired more. The villagers whispered, commenting on Simbi's habit of driving away husbands, wondering what she would do next. Following Ao's departure, Simbi experienced a pang of loneliness. However, she soon found Kofi. Kofi seemed like a dream, embodying everything she desired in a man. He was handsome, immensely wealthy, kind, caring, and had never been married before. Simbi marveled, thinking, "Wow, Kofi is just perfect." So, Simbi and Kofi got married, and it seemed like Simbi had finally found her perfect match. Kofi embodied everything she had longed for. He showered her with beautiful gifts, took her to lovely places, and always made sure she had a smile on her face. Together, they danced and enjoyed each other's company. They shared laughter, and their home was filled with joy. Simbi felt incredibly lucky. However, over time, circumstances began to change once again. While Kofi remained kind and caring, Simbi occasionally forgot to reciprocate. She neglected to use kind words such as please and thank you. Cooking and cleaning became alien to her, believing that Kofi's love negated the need for such efforts. Kofi had friends and family who frequently visited, but Simbi did not greet them warmly. She would only greet with a curt hello, without a smile. Kofi's family held great importance in her life, especially her parents, but Simbi neither visited them nor offered help, justifying her apathy by saying, "Why should I? They can take care of themselves." Kofi's parents noticed this behavior and expressed their dissatisfaction, stating that a wife should show kindness and respect not only to her husband, but to his family as well. They conveyed their concerns to Kofi, stating that Simbi was not suitable for their family. Although saddened, Kofi acknowledged the validity of their arguments. He loved Simbi, but he understood the importance of respect and kindness. Kofi approached Simbi and expressed his thoughts, explaining that they could not continue their relationship if she did not show respect towards him and his family. Simbi was shocked. She had not anticipated such a conversation. However, Kofi had made up her mind. Simbi packed her belongings and returned to her village, finding herself alone once again. Back in her village, Simbi reflected on her relationship with Kofi. Despite having everything she wanted, she was still unhappy, leading her to question whether finding the perfect husband was the only solution. She wondered if she needed to become a better wife as well. However, it was already too late for her and Kofi. When Simbi settled back into her life in the village after leaving Kofi, she received a shocking surprise. A flood had devastated the village, washing away much of its infrastructure, including the farms that had brought her wealth. Suddenly, Simbi found herself stripped of her riches. Her large house lost its charm when there was no food to eat and no money to spend. Simbi and her mother were forced to leave their spacious residence and move into a small shack, significantly smaller than anywhere Simbi had ever lived. Initially, Simbi felt a deep sadness, longing for her comfortable bed, her shiny possessions, and her beautiful dresses. Now she dressed in simple clothes and helped her mother cook with the meager food they could find. Living in the modest hut, Simby's mind began to wander. She thought back to Moi, Ao, and Kofi, reflecting on her behavior toward them and acknowledging that she had had 3 good husbands, but she had not been a good wife. She had always sought to be the one in control, failing to appreciate Moi's kindness and disrespecting Kofi and his family. Simby realized that she had been searching for the perfect husband without considering what it meant to be a good wife. "I was not kind," she admitted. "I did not share or help. I only thought of my own desires." In the small hut, Simby learned to live with less. She began to converse with her neighbors, those she had ignored in her days of wealth. To her surprise, they treated her with kindness, sharing food and stories. Simby also began to help others, embracing a new sense of compassion. Simby and her mother shared everything they had in the small hut. In this humble abode, Simby's heart began to transform. She learned to say please and thank you. She understood the value of listening instead of always imposing her authority. Simby realized that material wealth did not equal wealth of heart. One day, Simby admitted to her mother, "I was wrong. It wasn't my husband's fault. It was my own. I forgot to be kind and respectful." Her mother embraced her warmly, delighted to witness Simby's newfound understanding. Leaving her selfish ways behind, Simby learned a profound lesson. She discovered that happiness does not depend on wealth or control. True happiness comes from kindness, sharing, and respect for others. Simby was ready to be not only financially wealthy, but also a kind-hearted person. As Simby began her new, simpler life, she met an unexpected person named Gu. He was different from the men Simby had married before. He had no wealth and had been married previously. Yet there was something special about Gu. He possessed kindness, an infectious laugh, and a genuine care for Simby like no one else. Simby and Gu became friends, chatting, helping each other, and sharing laughs. Simby appreciated how Gu made her feel. Her worries about wealth and control melted away in his presence. She simply felt like herself. One day, Gu surprised Simby by asking her to marry him. Simby considered the proposal. Gu did not possess great wealth and did not fit the criteria she had previously desired in a husband. However, Simby realized that those superficial factors were not what brought her happiness. Being cared for, sharing laughter, and supporting each other were the true sources of her joy. With this realization, Simby happily accepted Gu. They married and began their life together in the small hut. It was a simple but blissful existence. Although Simby and Gu did not have much in terms of material possessions, they had each other. They shared everything they had and collaborated to transform their modest abode into a place filled with love and laughter. Simby remained loyal to Gu, not seeking someone richer or more influential. He learned to appreciate what he had: Gu's company. Simby and Gu respected each other, listening attentively when the other spoke and helping each other without being asked. Their neighbors witnessed the profound happiness that emanated from Simby and Gu. They observed Simby's remarkable transformation, his increased kindness, his genuine smiles, and his willingness to help others. Simby had grown as an individual, understanding that happiness did not come from accumulating wealth or seeking power. True happiness came from sharing life with someone who truly cared, from acts of kindness, and from finding contentment with what one has. Simby and Gu's marriage defied tales of opulence and grand palaces. Their love thrived on simplicity, but was brimming with true joy and fulfillment. It was a story of genuine happiness discovered within a humble heart, adorned with simple attire and basic meals. Yet it was their unique story, filled with love. Simby had finally found what she had been searching for, not in wealth or power, but in a heart that resonated with her own. On a beautiful evening, Simby sat outside her modest hut, gazing at the stars and reflecting on her long journey. From the days of living in a large house filled with extravagant possessions to now living a simple life with Gu, her heart was filled with contentment. Simby reminisced about how she once believed that marrying a wealthy, loving, no-strings-attached husband would bring her happiness. She had hoped that Moi, Ao, and Kofi would bring her happiness with what they could provide or how they made her feel, but something was always missing. It wasn't until everything changed, until she lost her wealth and embraced a simpler existence, that Simby discovered true happiness with Gu. Simby learned that happiness wasn't tied to wealth or authority. Instead, it revolved around sharing, understanding, and loving. She understood that no marriage is perfect, as every relationship faces its own challenges. However, what really matters is how you face those obstacles together. It's about mutual understanding, making compromises, and being there for each other. Simby acknowledged her mistakes and realized that she had been looking for perfection in her husbands without being willing to reciprocate in the same way. She understood that a happy marriage isn't about finding someone who meets all of your criteria, but about building a life together where you both feel appreciated and valued. As Simby gazed at the stars, she felt grateful for her journey. It had taught her the true essence of love and happiness. She was grateful for Gu's love and the life they shared. The moral of Simby's story became apparent. No marriage is completely perfect. What makes a marriage perfect is not finding the perfect person, but finding someone you can grow with, understand, and commit to in order to build a strong, loving bond. Happiness comes not from seeking perfection in others, but from appreciating what you have and fostering love and understanding in your shared journey. Simby's story serves as a reminder that the key to a happy life and marriage lies not in the wealth or status of your partner, but in the love, respect, and understanding you cultivate for each other. Ultimately, these qualities are the most valuable of all. I hope you enjoyed the story. If so, please show your appreciation by liking the video, sharing it with your loved ones, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell for more captivating stories like this one. Thank you for watching. May God bless you.